Hey everybody, good evening and good afternoon or good morning, whatever time it is, wherever you guys are. Thank you for joining. I'm going to give it a few minutes for everybody to hop in and get things going. So give me just a minute or two. Let me know if you guys are hearing any reverbs or anything like that. I'm going to turn it up on my end. Reverbs or anything like that. I'm going to turn it up on my end. Reverbs or anything like that. I'm going to turn it up on my end. Reverbs or anything like that. I'm going to turn it up on my end. Reverbs or anything like that. Wow, there is one. Wow, there is one. Wow, there is one. Okay, let me see how I can fix this. Okay, let me see how I can fix this. Okay, let me see how I can fix this. Okay, let me see how I can fix this. Okay, let me see how I can fix this. Oh no, I gotta figure out a way to fix this echo. Just give me just a second. I gotta figure out a way to fix this echo. Just give me just a second. I gotta figure out a way to fix this echo. Just give me just a second. Figure out a way to fix this echo. Just give me just a second. Figure out a way to fix this echo. Just give me just a second. Hey Dime, I'm assuming it's really bad, right? Okay, let's see. Okay. Cool. Okay, now it's fine. Alright, let me turn this off. Yo, Nick, what's up? Oh, let me fix this. Oh, no. Hello. Oh man, I can't believe this echo's happened. I think. Alright, I think we should be alright now. Let me know if it's still bad. But yeah, let's get going. Let's just take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining tonight. Looks like we had a little 50 times long over here. Everything seems to have held well. MA's held, so we're up here. We're riding this one a little bit further. I'm going to see if I have to end up exiting out here and that has to short. So I'm going to see how this line ends up holding over here. If we hold, that'll be great. It doesn't look too good right now, so I'll probably end up exiting midstream. This is plenty fine for me, especially at 50 times. That was a great move. There's a slight possibility it can go a little bit higher, but being as leveraged as I am, I'm not taking any chance, and we still really haven't broke out. I mean, definitely a nice move, but I guess I'm still in denial. But I'm pretty happy with what I did here. And as far as that goes, I mean, there's really not too much with Bitcoin. I'm not like super focused on it. When I'm seeing plays, I'll play them. That's about it. We're long as far as like the weekly aspect of this goes. It's on the 100, and we're trying to hold the 100 if we're going off MAs. In general, as far as price action's concerned, I'm more so looking just this area to hold right here at 69. If we can hold 69, that would be the most ideal situation. If we lose that zone, then we'll just end up seeing lower. Yeah, Dime, the weekly candle does look really good. I'm really surprised it looks like that. I'm kind of wondering if it'll end up staying that way. So we'll see how this one goes. For now, I'm really happy with it. We still need to break a higher high or one of these areas up here. I would prefer we get up to here and we clear over, but if not, I mean, it's just going to be hard for me to go bullish for the long term. So talking about stocks real quick, because that's what I really wanted to talk about. So we have Friday. We had news with the whole bombing stuff and everything. So that was really, really interesting because we ended up dropping. The biggest concern was we were unable to break over to the January 27th high. We did have that one candle before, but now we have war stuff. So with war going on the way it is, and we just ended up doing some kind of stuff again recently. Just Trump tweeted. Let's see if I can find his tweet. I don't know if anybody saw. I just recently saw this one. Yeah, he went hardcore over here with his tweets of saying he's gonna, basically this one. Iran itself will be hit very fast and very hard. I wonder how that line will affect the market on Monday. So that'll be really, really fun to see. I am in some silver calls, so that'll be really exciting. I'm just going to do a quick recap of metals from Friday. Friday's daily candle for silver looks like shit. Dust starting to pick up, so leads me to believe we might end up seeing some action on dust, which is inverse for metals, mostly gold. So if we get a flip over here on that black line, then I'll be a little bit concerned to see what happens over here. Dust is an all-time in discovery for lows, so we'll see if this holds or if this ends up coming back down. Let's see what else I have. SLV is the one I entered, so we'll see if this ends up coming back down. If I can extend out this blue zone a little bit, we have the blue zone. I'm willing to go ahead and buy into the blue zone. If it ends up pushing back through there, that's perfect, but anything below the blue zone, I'll be a little bit sketched out. The ones I have are out for June, so I have plenty of time for me on my options plays. And somebody had a really, really good question to me earlier. They're like, yo, Ace, how do I play something like this that's already so extended and something that's so far pushed out? I mean, right off the bat, you have, since the middle of December, near the end of December, you have 1 push-up, 2 push-up, 3 push-ups, and this is, you could even consider 4 push-ups in a row in a small time period. Okay, so right off the bat, first 2 gaps up, I was already thinking, I'm like, oh man, I missed this, let me try to get a pullback. I didn't get a single pullback. So right off the bat, that means this is already a high-risk play. So if you're trying to play this the normal way you would play any of your other plays, you do not want to do that. I mean, doesn't matter if you missed it, doesn't matter if you think the macro trend is great. If you're trading just to trade and not on like a macro perspective and you're not trying to like hold or things like that, and you're trying to do options play, unless you're buying the time for it, you don't really want to risk the same amount you would as to when the price was down here or middle over here. Over here, the way I'm playing this one currently is I'm trading other things on my watch list that I have that are making me money. So what I'm doing with that money is I'm tossing it into these plays for the ones that I'm missing out. I mean, there's some in the money ones that I'm buying, like for example, SIL. I saw some weakness in SIL the other day, so I was like, hey, we'll see if SIL ends up holding. I'm willing to buy a little bit lower on SIL because I'm buying out time as well. So if this ends up being a situation like this on silver, where last time we were with silver, we ended up breaking out, but we also ended up consolidating beforehand. So once we mooned and everything, we did consolidate, we did get a little bit lower, but then we did end up popping up. So we already did the pop-up, so I'm wondering how this consolidation is going to go and when we're going to get that next pop-up. So I'm trying to arrange myself in a position like that, but I'm not trying to go gung-ho on my positions. I'm having low starting position size I'm basically putting less in of my own capital that's not paid for profits from this week. Most of my profits are coming from a lot of this XOP stuff I've been talking about a while now. This one paid off really nicely after Trump's tweet up here for the lottos. They ended up hitting 100%. I did Oxy plays. This one ended up going all the way through the roof. So this one is a great play for anybody who got it. So thanks for X for initially showing it out to me back down here. So that was amazing. I mean, smart when I'm saying X. But yeah, so that's back to the topic of that one. So since things are so extended up here, I'm just keeping it's just basically a miss for me. I missed the run-up move, so my days of buying are going to be red days. That's when I'm going to be able to scale in a little bit higher and a little bit more price-wise. So as far as SIL goes, I mean, if I can get the pullback down to here, I wouldn't mind, but it also concerns me with silver, the way it did the daily close on silver. If silver ends up at any moment, I would say, breaking this one, then I'm definitely going to be concerned as far as is silver going to develop another pattern that's a bullish pattern that's just beginning, that I'm going to have to wait for it to get more near the end. And I don't want to do that with options, because if I'm in options and I'm buying ones that, the problem is that the options have already up or 200 to 300 to 400-500%. So I'm buying into that already if people haven't taken profit. So if this starts going down here and those guys start taking profit in my options during consolidation in any sort of bullish pattern, consolidation isn't my friend, especially in options that have such high premiums already. My options are just going to decay. I'm going to end up losing money. So I don't want to do anything stupid and silly like that. And if I do something stupid and silly like that, I want to make sure I'm doing low risk. I'm doing positions that are already built up, and I'm also buying time. Or if I'm doing it on a shorter time frame, I'm also making sure I'm buying it at end of the day where I have the possibility it might pop up the next morning. As of right now, looking at the way Trump's going and things are going, if we end up closing down again Monday, this will probably end up helping silver. Gold was doing really good. I was watching it. I mean, look at that one. Gold is beautiful. Gold has strong candles over here. I think gold is still going to keep running. Look at that. Like, all already up to the high that we ended up here. Just nuts, man. Gold is nuts. I didn't want to chase this one because any kind of red day. These options are just so pushed out. We're going to check cheddar flow real quick. I was going to buy them, but I ended up missing out the opportunity. I was going to buy early in the morning, but they kept going up too fast, and I wasn't able to. So just an example, like these guys are buying themselves just a little bit of time. It's not enough time as I'd like. I'd prefer the guys that are buying this one, like this 417. I would have bought something like this one because it's still not to the point where these are $3.05. So that means they've been running up for quite some time. I'm looking for the dollar ones, but I'm also not looking for ones that are 49 cents because this has a little bit of time. I mean, I would love to get 49-cent ones, but when I see April over here reasonably priced for around $1 with low OI, I'd rather get something like that and follow a player like that versus following somebody who's doing short-term plays. Short-term plays are more riskier because if this doesn't end up moving, they're not going to work out in my favor. So just if anybody's trying to chase this, just don't chase it too hard. You have plenty of other plays that are going to be going through this week. Just don't chase it, or at least build up a position of profit to where you're tossing money in. Let me check the comments. Twitter is gonna moon today. Yo, Porky, that's the worst idea. Maybe you're buying on a red day. Like, so I was zooming in on this one. So you have the daily over here. Yes, there's a possibility this can moon, but we failed to hold up on the 50 MA over here, so we're now back on the 20. So if we ignore MAs, we're also back on support as well. So I can zoom out and explain to you why this is support on other time frames. But, like, look, so you got horizontal there, you got this over here, and you have this one coming back to the trend line. So you're basically betting that this is going to end up bouncing on this trend line on Monday, or we're just going to open up on Monday and gap up. So the problem with this is, I don't like it because I missed the trend. So the trend has been developing this whole entire time. I mean, there's been moves that have already been happened that I could have played the volatility on options, whatever it was. Now it's getting to the point of, am I going to play a breakout move? What exactly am I going to do? At this point, I'd rather wait for the trend to flip back in my favor because I don't want to go ahead and short any stocks right now. I mean, who knows how it's going to react with the market, so I don't want to do anything risky. And I know how these Twitter options go, or even if you're playing spot plays. I mean, if you're doing spot, you have a little bit less risk. You can give it a little bit more of a hold. No, yeah, dude, I'm not, like, saying anything against what you're doing. I'm just giving you other opinions as far as yours goes. Like, I never want you to think I'm telling you what to do. It's more so, that's just my opinion of it. If it works out for you and it's within your criteria of things, then wonderful. So, Twitter is like that one. What else do we got here? I had a whole big new list filed with things that I wanted to go over. Let me just check out FSL real quick before we move on. This little monster. Every stream I get on, it's like doubled. Where did I put this list at? I think it's on my other page. 1 second. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Tight. Nope. Nope. I have all these lists and I don't know where I put my stuff. I thought I had it over there. Hang on. It's here somewhere. I have like a giant list of stock tickers that I'm watching for next week. I was basically really mad about my X plays, so I've done really good to where I've 3 times out whatever I lost on X. So I'm really happy about that one. That's why I'm going so aggressive right now. Okay, here we go, gaps. Okay, so I have all these nice tickers. The one big one I was looking at were like these drone tickers. Those are the ones that are really interesting me because I didn't know there was drone ETFs. So if I look at this drone ETF, iFly, this is holding the trend. And now I was just complaining about buying at the top of the trend, but this was the line that it needed to break. So we're now at the next point. If we can break through here, that puts us at all-time highs. So I'm willing to bet we can break through here and at least tap this and maybe get a wick to 40. So I'd rather be willing to bet over here and then maybe stop myself out if things get over here. But as far as the way the MAs are going, if this ends up pushing up, this 20 will be up here, this will be around here, so it'll be more confluent with my regular horizontal supports. So, I don't know, I'm willing to keep betting it that we keep droning and bombing people, so I guess that's kind of like horrible of me, but I'm trying to make money off this stuff. Let's see what else we have. NPaul's one I'm watching, it had a push up the one day and then we had a pull back down, so I'm trying to see if this was a fake pump or what it was. As far as this weekly goes, it was shit, so I'm debating if we want to end up shorting this if it ends up looking weak over here, or if we want to flip it if it's going to look like it's going to break out. We have Sci-Fi. This I don't believe has any options on it, but still watching the breakout. So this would be more so for you, Pork. So when I say you can trade ETFs without the options decay, you can trade something like this. It won't have options on it, but it'll still have the volatility of regular movement because ETFs are based off of multiple things. So you'll get a better play off this one if you're trying to do this rather than being able to try to trade your options. Just try to trade something like this because then when you get good at trading ETFs and you get approved for your options account, then you already know, hey, I'm able to play these gaps really good. And if you're able to play these gaps or at least a trend movement on these things, like it ends up being really nice profit and quick flips. Disney, we're watching Disney. Let me see. And most of these I'm going to do with Dime on a monthly time frame, so I don't want to reveal too much because I want to leave some for everybody to see as well. If you're wrong on Square, yeah, we can check Square. Let's see. Oof, Square. I think we did this one for the Discord since it has the weekly SR lines. So we're still doing a little bit of a triangle thing. So as of right now, we're at this point. Not necessarily like Oxy. Oxy was a falling wedge, so this isn't a falling wedge. This is more so just a triangle. I wouldn't call this one a falling wedge. Another one that is a falling wedge, or was a falling wedge that was great, was this one, which was T-Mobile. T-Mobile did beautiful. Falling wedge made me so much money. I'm looking to re-enter on this sucker, but I think the run might be done for the merger bump. Let me go back to SQ. So, SQ. Right now, still downtrending. You'd want to see if the support will hold over here. Well, things are flipping. Let me check order flow. I just know Kaleo was trying to get us in on this one. This is Friday. They bet short-term calls. 64 strikes, so a gap up. Daily trend is trying to flip over to bullish, and I am seeing definitely some bullish behavior on it. So what are you trying to bet on here, Dime? Spencer, I picked up some 20. Yeah, what did you do on this one, SQ? I mean, it doesn't look bad as long as this support holds. If this support goes, I'd be looking for a little bit lower, or maybe even possibly something down over this area. March, $75 calls. Alright, so Dime bought himself a decent amount of time for March. So he's buying March over here. Me, I'd be more of a, let's do June, July type of person because it's more near the end, but he's doing March. March. So, just to give you guys an example of more so of what exactly we're trying to do here with these options. So he's betting that sometime in March, I didn't ask him his date or anything like that, just an idea. So at some point, Dime is thinking that, and let me make a realistic pattern too. I would say this is in channel. I'm pretty sure you have a channel, but gotta draw something. Okay. So within channel, so Dime is basically saying that at some point this is going to break out before that point and hit any sort of breakout from what point it's at, or possibly even hit the strike of $75, which is up here. Okay, options is betting on volatility in your direction. So things going down over here just basically means, I mean, you can live off some sort of drawdown on these options, but the thing is that if your calls are stuck in this time period for a strike that's up here, you can only withstand so much of a downtrend before you end up hitting a point where it's like this, which requires a big giant move like this for you to recover. You don't want to get caught in that point. That's where you basically exit your thing, take your loss, wait for a better entry. But what was in Dime scenario, let's just say this would be the best case scenario for Dime. It goes about up to here, mid-January. I would say max probably around right after the Fed meeting if we end up pumping. If it ends up pumping and starts going, I would say right around this point, anywhere around this point, I think Dime would end up being in profit as long as the decay isn't bad over here, and it shouldn't be because he's already bought himself time for at least March. So that's not the monthly. It's not the same as the monthly decay because as long as the price action obviously doesn't break anything crazy. So judging off the way the price action has been going over here, it's nothing crazy, not super up and down, and not super in trend like this. So once Dime's up here, that's when I think he'll be in profit. But then he's expecting more of a breakout to where if it ends up going over here, I mean, he's going to end up going through the moon. And that'll be a full gap, that'll be a gap fill happening. And now if you notice the gap fills, I'm always telling you guys 25, 25, 25 with the gap fills. So the first 25 is probably easily going to get hit. I would rather go for the black line, take my profit, and get out. So really not bad. Oh, he's already in profit. Look at that. Possibly pump into earnings. Okay, so he's also playing earnings. My man's wild. So he'll probably... I hate playing earnings, so I'm out way before earnings. So it's not really my type of play, but I was just explaining to you guys exactly, like, I hope you understand as far as your betting, your price goes in the direction in a volatile sense. Tyson Chicken I'm bullish on. I don't know why. I just feel... Just go ahead and send this sucker to the moon. Bear with me. Tyson Chicken's weekly's looking nice. MAs are developing strong. Trend still intact. And I remember the order flow is fairly bullish. And we had been going down since the start of summer. So, nice little breakout from the after summer ended. Right around November time. If I was a buyer and I was buying options and I knew the trend was going to flip around in November, I would be buying them out for November, December, January, February, around March. So you have March over here on early March, and then you have earnings conveniently coming up at the end of January. So I'm expecting it to be pumping on earnings for this one, or at least expectations of earnings, because there was a little bit of a pump over here right after the earnings for this one. Oh, this was right beforehand. So I'm expecting another push on Tyson. I can try to back that up with order flow, see if anybody bought, but it doesn't look like anybody bought Friday. Chicken tendies, yes. Yes, Tunes will keep buying my stock in form of chicken tendies, and we will send this to the moon. Alright, let me go back to that. Oh, Halliburton's moving again, too. This one, I've talked to you guys before. So same thing over here, a little bit of a triangle nonsense. We played the breakout. Breakout went fine. We had a nice little invalidation over here. If it ended up breaking the MA, never broke. So we're just pushing through each level. Right over here, we're aiming for 28. After 28, I'm out. I'm not paying attention for it until either we... Yeah, I'm just basically out of it. That's moves, enough moves for me. ExxonMobil. I've been talking about ExxonMobil with you guys for quite some time. About the same time my little brother mentioned it to me, and I did not buy at any point over here. So I bought back on the red day. I think this was great. I think this was a great buy on the... It was like a retest. So I'm really excited about that one. Bought in over here. I'm willing to scale in if I have to. With this one, the idea is... Yeah, see fork out and break out. Let's break out to about higher points. We have a higher point over here. We have a higher point over here. I can even keep a contract up to here. We do have a gap fill up to this point. I'm not even going to aim for it unless it's like lottos. But as far as right now goes and everybody being bullish on oil and the gas sector, let's raise these prices up. Ace and I remember the Iraq War. Bro, I don't even remember yesterday. Let alone any war. GNC. GNC is going to break this trend line. And I'm going to short this. If this trend line does not break, and it breaks that 100 moving average, we are going down. Can I get somebody's thoughts on GNC? What do you guys think on GNC? I think GNC doesn't look too good. I mean, this is the time to bet, but I mean, it seems like you just need an excuse to get this under $2. That's what I would say. I want to look at some order flow as far as Friday goes. Dime did mention some interesting things. You got these people who were betting on lower prices for SPY. Let me go to SPY. 320 calls. This is what happened in the close just a little bit afterwards. You had Apple puts. Now what Ace is looking for is his favorites, which are... Alright, first let's do the date, expiration. Oh, look at these. These guys buy in 2022. Look at this guy. Alright, so this is the MVP of the year. I might even follow this guy just for shits and giggles. Just because I would love to toss profits into this if this does end up becoming the future. Let me explain to you what this is. And this is what I should have done when me, Craig, all those guys. I know some of you guys are watching were in this play with us for Neo. Like, look, I have lines drawn for Neo. So my Neo expired 2 months before it should have, which is whatever. I mean, it was okay. I accepted the loss. But Neo ended up dumping over here, and I was like, damn it. I'm like, it's wrecked. So I should have bought in on the bottom over here for Neo calls for a year out, and I saw plays like that too. And I didn't. So now you have this guy that came through Friday and is like, hey man, I'm going to bet 2022 this is going to hit a $7 strike, and my man's paying 70 cents for these. Okay? So, A, if he holds for a year, he'll be good on cap gains. 2, if he doesn't, not only that, $7 if this company ends up being a legitimate company is like the only one that I feel is in competition to Tesla if it can end up getting off the ground. I don't know its financials. People say it's bad, but just by looking at the cars, I'm sure they would fly well in America. So $7 is up here, which is basically not too far off of this zone, which is what I would draw. Any of these two lines. So he could aim for $6 if he wanted, but I think he probably found better pricing at $7, and you have a gap fill all the way up here at $9, $10. Yeah, it's bad, honestly. Yeah, lost trend just like X. Yeah, man. Man, dude. X was just devastating, man. That was like made me so mad. And I have no problem admitting my loss on this one. So I had gotten in on X over here, okay? And it popped up. Okay, cool, great. I was up 100% at some point on this one, and it was really good. But the plan with X was I had calls for June. they had a stupid thing where they were closing plants and everything, and it just tanked. So overnight it tanked 10%. So I opened up with a loss of 60%. And throughout the day, it ended up being a way bigger loss. I mean, I got out most of my shit at 60%, but I kept some open. So we were at 100% lost on that one. So this was a really shitty play, which was kind of funny because I asked somebody for advice on this one who does options better than me. And they were like, yeah, man, when it hits 14, you should probably get out and not try to push it past that. And I didn't listen to that advice, so kind of salty. But whatever. I mean, it dumped out and didn't work in my favor. Not everything works out. But that's just an example of, doesn't matter if you have a good entry. If things happen overnight, that's part of the game. Shit's going to fuck you if that happens. It just happens. So, I mean, another way to avoid that is don't play things that are highly reliant on news. I mean, this one was reliant on news all week long. There was like drama going on with it and not the best articles in the world. So, and I think Steel and stuff relies on a whole bunch of other things. So, well, it wasn't the best play. You have Tesla here. Looks like it's sort of topping out, but I really don't want to call that. But I think it'll do something again like this one, where we had that candle and it ends up coming back up. We had a lot of $500 calls on that one. Yeah, so NIO, this one's, I'm going to save this one. All right. Lyft. A couple people were mentioning Lyft in the Discord. They said this one was really interesting to them. Somebody else gave something saying like it's a verb. So if this one flips over, this would be nice. I'd want to attack the 45 first. Let me draw another line right off the top. Yeah, so if I'm drawing something like this, and I can draw an invalidation spot too. Okay, so this is how I would play this one. Long position. Let's see, hang on. Long position. Okay. Stop at 24%. Loss of all capital. Alright, so that's a little bit more of a riskier stop. You could probably make it a little tighter. Alright, that's good. Yeah, the target would be, yeah, somewhere around here, top out over here. Take profit in each four separate sections over here. So as far as order flow goes, you have people betting on Friday, short term. Oh, there's 2021 though. So these are next year's out. $70 calls. These $2 is about my max. This guy did a put though for 40. So what kind of concerns me is that somebody dropped 300K for a $40 put call on this one, while at the same time a smaller amount's bet over here. So kind of like screws with me. So I don't really always want to follow. Plus it's a year out, so that's, if I was going to do a year out play, I wouldn't do something like this one. So that's a huge pass. But just to keep an eye out on Lyft, it does look like it's starting to close out. So I want to see price action around the edge over here. I'm not a fan of IPOs. What are you doing, Rebel? Come in here. Go. Sorry, my dog. Alright, XOP. This is one I have lottos for, which I hope pays out really nicely. We've already gone through the levels, and next level would be up here. We have XLF. Now, XLF is one that had monthly zones that I was paying attention on. You have resistance up here on the monthly aspect of things. So I have a feeling this is going to end up getting a pullback. We're having a hard time breaking through there, especially on this monthly. So I'm thinking about looking for puts on this one. Let's see when they, oops, that's WLF. I can't spell. XLF. Oof, look at these guys. All have the same idea as ACE. So this is something I really, really, really like. Alright, so it's already topped out. So my mind's already saying this is monthly resistance. We're having a hard time not just busting through and pushing through. Not only that, we had a couple attempts at it and we failed. And we're failing to close over the weekend as well, or over last week. So if at any moment this 100 looks like it's going to get weak or we're not going to recover, A lot of people over here are betting for February. And these really aren't bad bets because these are more so placed towards the end of February. I mean, it's a little bit closer than I'd like, but they're priced nicely. Low OI, like I tell you guys all the time. You also have some people doing calls, which this is actually not a bad call to scale into. It's not a sweep, it's a block play. So this guy actually seems like he has more sense. He probably has, I would say, 80K to play with, 100K to play with, 20K increments of this one. So that's how he would end up scaling in this one. Decent OI size, so he can definitely flip in and out with volume if he needs to. But these are really, really nice. These put plays, $30 is just down here, and that doesn't really make it break because I don't doubt it ends up breaking. But a gap down over here, so this is a really nice one. Check out PRTY. Yeah, let me check that. Hang on. Sorry, I had a phone call. PRTY, let's check that one. Oh, is that Party City? Yeah, dude. I think you guys were in Discord voice when X was talking about this one. He was saying, yo, bullish on Party City. And I was like, nah, X, man, Party City trash. But it's been going up. Looks like Party City is going for a gap fill, so it had a nice little flip over the 20. So we're holding up nicely over here. Big main point right here. So this pushes through, we blow up. I can check on here and see if we have any order flow, though. I doubt something like this would pop up, but we can check. Yeah, I didn't think no Party City order flow. Let's see if these guys were doing something back in December with PRTY. I doubt it. Wow, look at this. Alright. Yo, that's a great answer, Spence. Yes, of course, Party City is trash, but we are not value investors. Exactly. We are not investors. We are traders. We don't care what it is. If we can make money off it, we will. So $3 strikes. Look at this. This is great. This guy's betting for more than a gap fill. He's betting at the very least a push to the 100 MA. And they're 50-cent calls on this one. And he bought these in the middle of December. So this one's worth looking into a little bit more than normal. Let me just open up a page. Let's just check on Bitcoin. Bitcoin reaching resistance up here up at the cloud. Let's see if it can burst through the cloud. If it can burst through the cloud, we'll see this thing move to 8K. And then it's Moon City. Alright, what were we going to do? Check that one out a little bit more. And I use this website just so I can get a better idea of how like the calls look in general as far as price action goes, if I am looking to buy into somebody's weakness or whatever it is. Because that's what I like doing. I like following the money. I like buying into their weakness. Options chain. I was trying to watch something new. Ran out of shit to watch this month. Alright. He picked 717, $3 strikes. Why can't I pick them? They don't show. That sucks. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm blind. 717. What's $3 strikes? Okay. They've been open since December, so 2 months. Basic chart. So my man's got them around 50 cents. So this was likely his pump over here. Bought up. Sitting up higher right now. So it's really unchanged right now. It's still waiting for price action to react to it. I mean, they're slightly a little bit higher. I'm sure the spread is a little shitty. But he's really not that much higher up into this one. He's only a little bit into profit, and he was the open interest user. So he is the open interest into here. there was a little bit more volume, so I'm wondering if it was flipped inside of there. But overall, this isn't that bad. Let me just do a little more. 1 month, hourly, 10 days, hourly, chart style, big, candlesticks, draw, trash. Yeah, so this is very liquid, but they're moving. Some more people bought in at about 60. Somebody did something around 65, so people are buying. I wouldn't mind betting on this one. You have tons of time to decide what you want to do or if you want to take some sort of exit. So this is super interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my favorites list because I love flow like this. If I'm not really late to the party that much because it's not really moving. And this guy bought on the 12th, so just imagine the drawdown he's facing. He bought these over here, and the price hasn't moved in this little bit of volatility. You're going to need this thing to push through $3 to get a big decent chunk out of this one. And to give more of an example of what it may be priced at, let me go look at these. So like the January 2020 prices right now, well, let's check February. So these are priced around like $2, $1, or yeah, $1.35. Ask $2, bid this. April. Yeah, so aiming for like about 100% to 60% on this one. Somewhere between 60 to 100% is what I'd aim for this play. And it's really not that bad. I mean, honestly, I don't like Party City, so I wouldn't personally trade Party City, but if I was going to trade that, I'd look at these. I'd even look at these come Monday if I can find some profits out of XOP. I wouldn't mind flipping them over to there. What other tickers do you guys have? That was actually not a bad one. Oh, JCP. JCP is looking like it is tightening up. This is interesting. Unless we just flip and break down. Okay. JCP. Very interesting. What's your thoughts on GE? I would love to do GE real quick. Me, especially because you're always in here and supporting. Oh man, GE! I absolutely hate GE! Look at this. Look at this. It makes me so mad. I hate missing moves because it's like I have things on my list, but I get so overwhelmed with stuff I forget to watch things. So it's just like, Ace, stay on the top of your game. That's why I'm messing around with TrendSpider so I can get my alerts going. Yeah, look at that. Nice little flip over here, push down. This is where Ace stopped trading GE. And then it dipped down here. I should have bought in because there was a lot of people saying that, hey, this is a great deal to buy into $12. And when you saw it dip down here, if you noticed, there was a lot of news coverage that there was option calls buying out for about $12 strikes, which at the point seemed crazy. But if you look at it now, prices hit well double from that bottom price almost. So anybody who bought calls down there, back there, we had tons of volatility. You might have lost money there, but if you got in low over here, you should be plenty fine. GE right now, really nice move on the weekend. I don't know if that was because, aerospace and defense. Well, war's going to help this one. Yeah, I don't know if this looks like a war pump. Next levels for this one would be, well, you're at a main level right now. I mean, this is as well horizontal confluence as well as the MA confluence, so it needs to break over the 100. I mean, it's in trend now. I mean, that was a nice pump. I don't know if it was due, if it's like actually going to hold up. So I'd want to see it on Monday, see how the price action goes up over here. If we see any sort of clear with a couple candle closes, that would be great. I would prefer price to possibly pump up a little bit and then retest down here at 1161, bring down the price of options just a little bit, and then get in. Because then you could aim for something higher around this point and then max it out at a $15 strike. So that's how I would play this one. But GE doesn't look bad. That's nice that it broke out. I'll have to start watching it again. I didn't even realize that GE was aerospace and defense stuff. CGC, struggling, man. CGC's, I ended up getting out all of this one, unless the economy fails. I don't think CGC is going to do anything. I had somebody today mention to me about wanting to do some pot stocks. I was like, hey man, you should probably not do those. Trade regular ones. We'll check some retailers. I think DG is going to go to shit once it loses this 100. 0 incoming. We're going to make the... Look, see, even Ellers flipped yellow, so trend's questioning itself. Cracker Barrel. I want to short Cracker Barrel so bad, and I haven't had a chance to buy options because the options are really shittily priced. So I don't think I'll get the chance to, but... Look at this. Just to keep in mind on this one, they're paying their employees tons of money, which is unjustified for this time of, like, the world and everything. They're paying their, like, just regular assistant managers over 6 figures when every other company is cutting budgets and things like that. So I really don't think Cracker Barrel is going to do good. If Cracker Barrel gets back in the trend, passes over the 50, maybe then I'd be a little bit more bullish on it. But overall, just from what I know from insider people who are telling me how much they're getting paid and how much they're spending on shit, it's just, it's like, why? So that's a bad news bears for this one. And I just was peeking at this one, so this is interesting as well. So you have this zone over here, so it absolutely needs to break over. Amazon's been doing nice. We had this little triangle draw and it's been popping out. I mean, we're still aiming for a gap fill, and Amazon will gap fill that. Starbucks looks so good for me. I'm like so big on Starbucks. Like the weekly looks really nice. Support test on the 20. Let's zoom out or zoom in. Hourly. Nice little pumps over here. I think this is going to end up breaking. So I'm looking for at least $90 to $100 on Starbucks calls. I'll buy myself some time, but I'm even willing to do my first yearly calls on Starbucks. Chewy. Flirting around up over here. Honestly, it looks like it's ready for another leg up, which is very interesting. Yeah, even on the daily, as long as this holds up over here and we do good, I could see Chewy moving up. It's not a shitty company. Sorry if you guys hear yelling in the background, people are here. GME, Dime, GME's going down. GME's not going to gap fill. Ellers on the daily just flipped yellow, so the bullish trend is in question. And you're having stock gonna flip. You had this going into green. Bad news bears for this one. It really needs to do something. The weekly looks like shit, so absolutely needs to bounce over here. Let's see if there's any order flow for GME. Puts on the 60% put side for all of December till now. I'm sorry, Dime, but you are the weakest link for Dime. I mean, for GME. What are these strikes at? These boys are aiming for these guys. What are they doing? I never understood this, why I buy these things like this, but what's interesting is some put players. $7, $8. Why are they buying out of the money puts? Wild. Yeah, I don't even know what these guys are doing, why they're doing this. Yeah, it blows my mind why I've never personally purchased it, so that's out of my range of expertise as to why these guys are doing these crazy numbers. Over here, the only thing that made sense to me in this whole thing was this guy. This guy's the only reasonable guy. He was like, hey man, I'm going to buy this one at the end of the year, and I'm going to bet by the middle of this January, these are going to pump. They're priced at 26 cents, and it's mid of this month. So you're really betting on volatility, but with a shitty thing like this, and the daily just flipping to a questionable trend, if this starts losing any of this trend over here, this guy will do good. So that's the only guy that makes sense. Everybody else, no idea what kind of play they're doing. So I don't always understand every single thing I look on here, but I try to use it in confluence to what I'm trading on. So if something makes sense to me, that's when I'll trade it. I won't just willy-nilly be like, hey man, look, there's some order flow over here. This guy must know what he's doing. No, that means Ace, hey, you're trying to look and lose your money. No, I'm not trying to do that. What else do I got for you guys? I'm just going to run through some things on TrendSpider. Let's check this. Bullish, bullish, bullish for ABB. Just gonna go through their list on ET and look for ET setups on the daily. No. 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 In trend. Yeah, this trend's strong. 20 SMA's holding. And then you have Kijun support too, so this one's not bad. Yeah, weekly's not bad either. Strong trend on the weekly. Bullish all over. Bullish cloud. Very strong on the Ichi. Adobe Systems strong, but could possibly touch the 20 with a gap down at the Kijun. That's not the best. I'm trying to find one that's nice that hasn't done any of this stuff and is actually pushing out or is developing a cloud ahead of time. That's what we're looking for. We're not trying to find ones that are already extended. One good thing is though, I think on one of my tweets I did write something. Here, where was it? I'm just trying to give you guys the most explanation of things. Some of you guys might know, some of you won't, but I know some people watch it. Where's my tweet? I know I tweeted it. Okay. Maybe I didn't tweet it, but what we're looking at over here is a B-band's price extension. So the price ended up popping up to a point where here's the B-band and it started extending out of the B-band. So that's a B-band extending out of the price. Typically what that ends up meaning is that the price is going to go sideways, and then that's the point that you want to figure out what you want to do. Typically on these kind of things I end up fading it, but then obviously you have things like Tesla that end up running up. But on the macro perspective, anything that I see getting extended out of the B-bands from experience in crypto goes sideways and then figures out a move near the end. So as of right now, everything is still bullish. Yeah, Dime, sorry, my bro, it's late. Yeah, Starbucks, yeah, Pork, dude, trade Starbucks over Netflix, not financial advice. But that's what I would suggest for you, just because you're getting started out. Don't trade any of those big number figures just yet. Stay away from them. Anything that's like the FANG ones, I'd personally stay away from right now. Mess with some gold, silver miners, things like that. They don't have that much of volatility where spot's going to hurt you. And you'll be able to at least fairly manage your thing because I know you're not retarded. So, what else do we got? Somebody said check out Roku. Yeah, I can check out Roku levels. That's another one that was a struggle of 2019 or yeah, whatever year. Tech Roku. Yeah, Roku's still following the last thing we talked. It kind of dumped down, so it's holding up on the 100. The target was around here just because of the zones over here. So the main thing was this over here. So I drew my line based off this zone, which ended up being confluent with a couple other zones. So Roku could flip back over. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this line since that's pretty much invalid at this point. See what I can find. Roku's trend has been neutral since we gapped down. It's kind of been neutral. Hang on. Let's see. See what I could come up with as far as lines go. I mean, I could do this or I could do this. Let me see about order flow on Roku. I mean, I'm not a fan of Roku just because there's not like really any setups that are coming up. Friday, they didn't really buy much, and they all bought short-term ones. So Roku is a bit of a pass. If you're more so an intraday trader, like where you trade in the mornings and you do your day trades, that might be a little bit more worth it. I know people who do more in-the-money calls for short-term expirations do really good on Roku because it's been really nice as far as volatility goes for short-term ones. But you really got to get your direction right. So those who don't have experience for this one on lower time frames, I would stay away from doing Roku on short-term options like that. You're just going to get wrecked if you don't know. But if you do know and you do end up catching the trends early in the morning or during important times of the day, I mean, this really pays out. I've seen people bang out hundreds of percents just on these because Roku's just been doing such stupid moves. It's still highly volatile. I mean, look at this whole gap, push up, all these dailies that are pushed up. I mean, you see how the big hype was on gold. Imagine this, like how this did to the options. I mean, it was great. ATVI, I'm looking for a support test over here, so this might be my chance to go ahead and enter one last time. Horizontal confluence over here. So we'll see if this holds strong. I want to get into something like this. I'm a little concerned. I'm willing to, yeah, I'm going to have to watch on this one, see if I can get an entry into this. But overall, I want to have a bag of this for 2020. Marvel, I want to get in on this one. I should have got in on middle support, but that's kind of against my rules. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a breakout or at least another support test. Marvel, I'm going to be long for 2020. Trade Desk. Trade Desk was doing really nicely on Friday. I caught a couple trades on this one, but not too many. Got like 15% on calls. This is not bad. This one does really nice. Came off the bottom off this one when it was ramping. I'll be looking for an all-time high in 2020 for this one. Yeah, look at the 4 hour, not bad. Yo, I really appreciate everybody that's watching right now. It's more than normal, so you guys are the MVPs. And anybody who hasn't gotten a Discord invite, I'll get you one out. And for anybody who is wondering if my Discord was ever paid, nah, fams, it's 4 years running and I haven't charged anybody who's joined. I mean, I had it exclusive to where I don't just willy-nilly invite people. So this year, I kind of went on Twitter and was like, you know what? Let me see if I can invite Twitter people in and try to help other people out, which has definitely been I think, helpful to some people because they've been DMing me more. But yeah, it's just always been something private that I would end up inviting people into who actually genuinely wanted to learn or something like that. But now it's like, yeah, let's just make it public. But I made it private again now because there's too many people and I can't help everybody out. So I'm going to try to organize stuff. Apple in trend. Shorting this is a risky move. It's getting tight up here, so we'll see if it ends up pulling back. But man, Apple does not want to pull back. Daily shitty daily candle though. Maybe gap fill down to over here, but then pop back up. I don't know. I'm passing on Apple. Apple's heavily weighted on a couple things that I don't like. ETFs. If you do FIXI ETF, I know Dime wanted to grab a long-term bag of EEM. EEM is cool, but EEM is 100% exposed to option premium burning. So wait for your premiums to get burned if you're going to do a longer term play on this one. If you're doing a shorter term play, keep it really short term. You don't want to do EEM or any of these like weird ETFs I'm about to show you guys in a long term aspect that I normally would play the other ones. ETFs have a different type of playing. Especially if you're doing options, because if you can notice over here, the charts look really shitty. And when I zoom in and you try to do in trading, like look at all these gaps and stuff. That's what you're playing on is the gaps, and you're making money off those gaps. So just a quick example of this one. Like this is going down over here, but it's not really losing any levels. But the problem with that is since it is gapping, over here, a gap down to here could put you down to a drawdown about 60%. And if you're nervous and you don't know how to manage your position or you don't know how to play your trend into it, that's what'll get you wrecked because then you'll exit and then you notice over here, we had a pop that was worth all these days over here. And not only that, then we had a pop up over here. Any of these pops would recover all that and more just because it's an ETF. That's just how it works is what I've noticed. My dog, come here, Rebel. Come on. Get in here, go. Come here. Rebel. Dude. He's the only one that's a dick. He's a little chihuahua, and he causes so many problems. He's cool, though, my little man, but, man. So, yeah, if you can trade these ETFs and keep track of them and get the trades on these for options, they pay out really, really nice. FIXI is one of my favorite ones because I can grab this. That's why there's so many, like, lines in there. I'll play the trend on FIXI. I didn't play this last move up here, but I did play the move up to the right over here, so really nice. BRZU is one that fully reached target. I've been showing this to you guys on stream forever. Oh man, we're already at the 10 o'clock mark. Man, so I kind of extended the stream almost. Is there any wrapping up questions you guys have? I'm going to wrap things up and maybe I'll hop in the Discord, so if you guys want to hang out in there, I can. Shopify. Shopify holding the trend on the 20 should be weakening because we're double topping over here. But nothing weak about it just yet. Hang on. And like if I was gonna draw something, like I hate doing stuff like this, but let's just say this is a magical figment of a cup and handle, I would say something like maybe like this, and then pop up. As of right now, what you'll want to do is see if it ends up holding some candles up over here, and then focus on this zone up here. If it looks like it's going to be clearing that zone over here, I would have no problem with aiming for 420 strike on this one, and then if you want to do longer term plays, I mean, just increase it in $10, $20 increments as far as strike dates go. If you want to buy yourself some time and go OTM, you can go $500. But keep in mind, things are expiring on February. So I'm not going to even actually check shop as far as order flow goes. None order flow. Any order flow? So 435 strike, 450 strike, priced expensive. So yeah, just off the bat of options pricing is a huge pass for me. You have the reason being for that is that it's been going up constantly. So right now the options premiums for calls are so expensive. I mean, this is just a small. I'm not even looking at anything crazy. So this one's, where'd it go? Yeah, 435 is kind of like out of here on the target area, but it's not like a stupid price to bet on. And they're already charging $4.70 on that one. Even short term 450 strikes, which is more like unusual for next week. Those are still priced at $2. So it's really crazy to see these priced so high. So as far as options trading goes, shop is a huge pass, and I don't buy stocks spot like this. So that's that one. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining. Dime, I'm gonna hit you up, and we can do our monthly review now. And hey, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you guys, and everybody who constantly joins, I appreciate you even more. And let's get some money on Monday. Let's make money. Make sure you guys are managing your risk. Do not get into stuff that you can't handle, or at least do your position sizing slower. Options, you can make your money grow with a smaller account. You don't have to risk tons because you're already going to be making gains on the small end. So trust me, just take your time, slow your roll, and quickly lock in those profits. Don't be stuck in those positions if they're not moving. All right? Thank you guys, and see you later.